Hello and welcome back to the TauNet update for the month. You're hearing me follow. Without further ado, let's get into your Q and A questions. All right, the first question is from Ethan, and he asks: if a DAO is built on the TauNet blockchain, can its users collaboratively amend the DAO's smart contract through group discussion without relying on any centralized entity?
Yes, that is correct. So on TauNet, users will be able to collaboratively amend the DAO smart contract through group discussions and by reaching agreement among each other without relying on any centralized authority. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Killian. And the next question is from Andrew, Learn Tau. What is the current progress on implementing bit vectors in tables in Tau? Will users be able to write them similarly to how they write formulas in SPF or TauSpec?
Thank you, Sir Andrew. Regarding the big vector implementation, right now we just refactor the type system in order to properly deal with big vector widths and solve several issues and have a more, let's say, general type system for the future. We will talk a little more about in the dev update. Regarding tables, we didn't start the implementation yet, but the idea at the end is that regardless of what you are using, tables with vectors or whatever all the Boolean algebra that we implement, the formulas will be quite similar to what you are used to. Thank you for your question.
All right, fantastic, David. Thank you. And Samuel, your question is: Tau seems poised to outperform humans in nearly every task. In such a future, what meaningful roles will humans still have if Tau can do everything better?
The human role is to define the human goals. The human goals is not something that can be logically or mathematically be guessed or determined. So the humans will have to specify what they really want, which is not an easy task. And that's in the far future, in the sci-fi future, that's how the future will be.
All right, thanks, Samuel, and thanks, Ahad. And the next question is from Learn Tau, and he asks: at TauNet's genesis, only coin transfers and rule proposals are read. Later, can users propose new rules to define what should or shouldn't appear in other data columns?
Yeah, thank you, Laurentau, for that question. For sure, in the future, users will be able to suggest additional columns, but we might be able to do it even sooner than that, not necessarily through new rules, but just by introducing new data types, which is something that we're working on in Tau on the next month. So basically the answer to your question is with abstract data types that will soon be added to Tau, you will be effectively able to add new data columns. No need for rules for that. Thanks again for the question, Lauren Tau.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, Kareem. And the next question is from Towers, and they ask: we've been patiently waiting for the product release for so long. Are there any plans to improve engagement? We need to win this AI race. Please speed up. Yes, absolutely. There will be many things that we can do that we can't do now when we release, such as getting our US legal memo, which allows us to list on US exchanges, do US advertising, and that way increase our exposure. There will be many other endeavors that come at the same time, such as being able to do, for example, hackathons and incentives for community members to join the project and create content that grows the system of TauNet. And the next question is from Learn Tau, and he asks: mainstream AI consumes massive amounts of energy to operate. Will Tau require similar energy levels? Please walk us through the difference. Thanks.
Yes. Current AI famously uses a lot of power because it uses a lot of cores and parallelizes their matrix operations over a very large number of cores, which ends up consuming a lot of power, not just in training, but even during inference as well. With Tau, first of all, there's no learning. You teach it via formulas how to reason or what to reason over. So that saves like 90% of the energy there. Like there's no training necessary. Now the inference can be compute intensive, but we don't waste a lot of parallel cores or CPU cores. It only uses however many cores you allocate to it. So it's basically Tau is not any more energy consuming than any other workload. So of course it will consume some energy, but nowhere near as much as AI nowadays, mainly because basically we don't use as many cores. And thanks again for the question.
And Learn Tao asks, is knowledge representation and reasoning essential for creating a debate arena to refine opinions, resolve conflicts, execute more user specifications, and accelerate reaching critical mass?
The short answer is that in theory, no, but in practice, probably yes.
All right. Learn Tao asks, how does Tao address human resistance to radical change, such as loss aversion, conservatism, and fear of uncertainty?
I don't know. Maybe the users of the system will come up with ideas.
And the next question from Learn Tao is, can you help us visualize the importance of Tao winning the AI race by describing what could happen if Tao loses and centralized AI becomes dominant?
So if Tau loses and centralized AI built on machine learning takes over, we basically risk handing the keys of society to black box systems controlled by a few unreachable companies. So these systems could shape what we see, how we work, how decisions are made, and who gets hurt, without any way to know if they are doing what we actually intended. And one wrong assumption could ripple through laws, economies, and daily life, and we would have no clear way to trace it or to take back control. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Killian. And the next question is from Learn Tao. At what stage can we expect to see the future of laws of changing the laws? Will it be available in the TauNet Testnet Alpha or in the TauNet Testnet?
Thank you, Learn Tao, for that great question again. So the laws of changing the law is going to be implemented using our pointwise revision feature, which is already working and already in Tao right now. And we will be releasing it as part of Testnet Alpha. So you'll be able to play with it with the very first release. Thanks for that great question again.
Thank you very much, Kareem. And thank you, Learn Tao, for that question. The next question is from Carlos Nada, and they ask, what is the relevance of languages that support the three laws of laws beyond the blockchain domain?
I emphasized on that in the 2 Twitter articles that I wrote, but in principle, if you have an AI agent, a robot, something that you want to give commands to, and you also want to give commands about commands. So for example, you say, if one of my future commands is going to contradict a certain requirements, then either don't execute it or tell me or whatever. So for commands to refer to logical connection with other commands, you will need this kind of language.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, Ahad. And the next question again is from Carlos Nada, and he asks, Apollon X said, would you trust an AI to run your country if it promised zero corruption? And the answers were yes, no, or only with human oversight. How would Tao respond?
Yeah, thank you for your question. So with Tao, basically, if you are able to logically formalize what it means to run your country, then we would trust our AI to run it because it not only promises, but it guarantees you that the AI will act exactly as specified. So in that sense, we would trust it. In any other sense, where you cannot verifiably check the answers from the AI, we would not trust the results.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Luca. And thank you, Carlos, for those questions. The next question is from Griffin, and he asks, is TauNet just a matter of time? Meaning, have all theoretical and technical aspects been figured out, and now it's just a matter of implementing them? What is the underlying philosophy?
So yes, all the theoretical and technical aspects have been figured out, and it's only a matter of implementing them, with the small caveat that it's slightly beyond only implementation, because certain algorithms, we are looking for better algorithms that are more efficient, that run faster. But yeah, generally speaking, yes.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, Ahad. And the next question is from Carlos. Since the last white paper, have Tao's promised features changed? Have any been dropped since then?
So the white paper from 5 years ago speaks about a language which is very different than the Tau language, and the Tau language is much better. So there is a change in this front. Nothing comes to my mind regarding a fundamental change of the general features that TauNet is going to have, it's pretty much the same.
All right, brilliant. Thanks, Ahad. And the last question is from Blade Runner. And they ask, if production testnet is launched in 2026, can we expect the mainnet 2 years later, say in late 2028? And the Agoras knowledge economy with a controlled natural language interface in late 2029 to early 2030. Over to you, Kareem.
Thank you, Blade Runner, for that great question. So we are currently working on Testnet Alpha, as you all know, and we should be able to have a release out of that fairly soon. After that, it will be Testnet, and from Testnet to mainnet, I don't think it will take we will need a full year to do that. Beyond mainnet and how mainnet is going to evolve is difficult to predict, but for sure those timelines seem to be too large to me. We should be able to beat the timelines you mentioned here. But yeah, thank you for that great question, Blade Runner.
All right. Thank you so much, Kareem. And thank you, team, for answering those questions. And thank you to you guys for asking them. As always, follow us on our socials on Twitter. That's Tau_net. On Telegram, that's TauNet. And on Reddit, that's TauNet Agrs. That's TauNet Agrs on Reddit. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. That is where we're most interactive. That is where we are most able to get back to you from the rest of us. The rest of the team are on there as well. Well, not all of us, but lots of us are there. So you can always fire us questions. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.